Friday night, October 1st, 1993. For most families in Petaluma, it was just another quiet evening in a town long known for feeling safe. Tree-lined neighborhoods, small town charm, and the kind of place where people rarely imagine something truly horrific could happen. That night, 12-year-old Polly Klaas was having a sleepover with two of her friends inside of her family's home. The girls spent the evening laughing, playing games, and staying up late like countless sleepovers before. At around 9:45 p.m., Polly's mother checked in on the girls one last time before heading to bed with a headache. But sometime between 10:30 and 11 p.m., someone entered the home. Through an unlocked door, an unidentified intruder quietly moved through the darkness, armed with a large knife. Investigators believe the man followed the sound of the girls' voices as he made his way down the hallway towards Holly's bedroom. Then suddenly, the bedroom door opened. The intruder ordered the girls to stay quiet, lay face down, and do not move. If they screamed, he threatened he would kill them. Two of the girls were bound using strips of fabric before pillowcases were placed over their heads. The intruder then ordered them to count to 1,000. Moments later, they heard the sound of the screen door slamming shut. Polly Klaas had been taken into the night. Within minutes, the terrified girls managed to free themselves and alert Polly's mother. The police were contacted almost immediately, but despite the rapid response, the kidnapper had already disappeared into the darkness. As Petaluma police flooded the neighborhood, investigators quickly realized this was no ordinary missing persons case. Descriptions were collected, searches began, broadcast alerts spread rapidly across Northern California. Within hours, roadblocks and checkpoints were discussed, volunteers and helicopters flooded the area, and national media attention exploded.
Polly Klaas.
Polly Klaas.
12-year-old Polly Klaas.
Since 12-year-old Polly Klaas was kidnapped.
By the following day, the FBI had officially joined the investigation. Composite sketches and reward posters soon appeared everywhere as fear was starting to spread through California. But while authorities desperately searched for answers, they had no idea that only hours after the abduction, the unidentified intruder had already encountered law enforcement. Close to midnight, along a secluded country road in Sonoma County, a suspicious vehicle became stuck in a muddy ditch on a private driveway. A babysitter driving home that night later described a terrifying encounter with the stranded driver. As she slowed near the vehicle, the man approached her car and demanded she get out. Terrified, the young woman kept her window slightly rolled down as the stranger forced his fingers through the opening while repeatedly questioning her about what was further up the road. Realizing something was very wrong, she sped down the road into the darkness. Eventually, she reached a payphone and contacted the homeowner she worked for, warning her about the disturbing encounter. The homeowner then contacted the Sonoma County Sheriff's Department. When the deputies arrived at the scene, they encountered a nervous man standing behind a stranded vehicle. Investigators later stated that the man appeared sweaty, agitated, and had debris covering parts of his clothing and hair. The deputies questioned the driver, ran a field sobriety test, collected his name, and eventually helped pull the vehicle from the ditch before allowing him to leave. What they didn't know was that only hours earlier, a child had been abducted from our bedroom in Petaluma. The deputies never received the kidnapping alert because they were operating on a different radio channel that night, and without realizing it, they had just let the unidentified intruder drive away into the darkness. Over the following weeks, the investigation intensified across Northern California. Thousands of tips flooded in, reward money increased, and composited sketches rapidly spread across television broadcasts, newspapers, and telephone poles throughout the state. But despite one of the largest search efforts in California history, there was still no sign of Polly Klaas. Fear slowly consumed Petaluma. For residents, this is the type of crime that felt unimaginable in a town long associated with safety and quiet neighborhoods. Parents became terrified for their own children. And as the case gained national attention, families across California watched the investigation unfold with growing dread. Meanwhile, Polly's father, Mark Klaas, was publicly pleaded for his daughter's safe return as hope slowly began fading. Then, nearly 2 months after the abduction, the investigation suddenly took a dramatic turn. The same Santa Rosa homeowner connected to the ditch encounter returned to the property and discovered suspicious clothing and strips of fabric hidden in the woods nearby where the stranded vehicle had been found weeks earlier. Authorities quickly returned to the scene. Investigators determined the fabric matched the same type of bindings that were used on the girls during the abduction. Even more devastating, the clothing was identified as belonging to Polly Klaas. Investigators immediately revisited the earlier police report from the ditch encounter. And for the first time, the unidentified intruder finally had a name: Richard Allen Davis. As investigators examined Davis's background, they uncovered a long and violent criminal history involving kidnapping, robbery, assault, drug offenses, and attempted abduction. The investigation accelerated rapidly. Only days later, authorities tracked Davis to the Hopland Rancheria area near Ukiah, where he was arrested on a parole violation. Once in custody, investigators matched a palm print recovered from Polly's bedroom directly to Davis. Combined with the mounting evidence against him, the mystery that had long gripped California for nearly 2 months was finally beginning to unravel. Under mounting interrogation pressure, Davis eventually admitted to the crime and agreed to lead investigators to Polly's location. But heartbreakingly, it would become a recovery, not a rescue. Although Davis admitted to the crime, he refused to provide investigators with a full timeline of what happened that night. Authorities believe Polly was likely killed before deputies arrived at the ditch encounter in Sonoma County. Investigators theorized Davis had hid her body temporarily in the thick brush above where his vehicle had become stuck, potentially explaining the dirt and the debris covering his clothes when deputies encountered him. After being escorted back to Highway 12 by law enforcement, investigators believe Davis later returned to retrieve Polly before continuing north towards Cloverdale. In Cloverdale, along a rural roadside roughly 45 minutes north of Petaluma, investigators discovered Polly's remains, buried in a shallow grave just off the road. As newspapers spread across the country, heartbreak followed. This is no longer just a missing persons case. No longer just a hometown tragedy. For many people, the abduction and the murder of Polly Klaas shattered a sense of safety that countless families took for granted. In the weeks that followed, memorials and vigils began appearing throughout Northern California, including near the area where she was found. People left flowers, stuffed animals, letters, and candles in her memory as communities struggled to process what happened. After a lengthy trial, Richard Allen Davis was sentenced to death and placed on death row at San Quentin Rehabilitation Center, where he remains to this day. But even decades later, the legacy of Polly Klaas continues to impact the country. Her case helped inspire changes in criminal justice policy, including California's 3 strikes laws aimed at repeat violent offenders. And through the work of the Klaas Kids Foundation, Polly's memory continues helping families and children across the nation. As someone from this community, and as a father myself, this case hits especially hard. Because beyond the headlines, the investigation, and the media coverage, this was a real girl whose life was taken far too soon. And for the people who loved her, that loss never fully disappears. Thank you for watching.